Cricket presents The Campfire, and today we're analyzing Class 4A, DFW area. Let's begin by taking a look at some of those teams in our film session. In 4A Division II, Brock had a successful introduction to 4A ball as they played 15 games a year ago. Eagles continue to be elite no matter what the competition, and this year they returned talent like Briar McDonald and Colt Matlock. Sunnyvale swept through their district and went 3 rounds deep in the postseason. They have junior Kason Maupin behind center, who could lead a long playoff run. Glen Rose and Godley will need to reload if they want to compete for a title. They graduated a ton. However, look for Benbrook to turn some heads behind Brennan Barton and Carlos Harris. In Division I, 7-4A is North Texas and possibly the whole state's District of Doom. 3 of the best players in the state run this district: Panther Creek's Jay Littleott, Salina's Bo Bentley, and Sulphur Springs' Jackson Hare. Salina is holding the hardware right now as defending 4A state champs. Besides Bentley behind center, Logan Gutierrez returns in the backfield, so their ground attack is primed for a trip to AT&T Stadium. Panther Creek has Graylin Fry and his 3,000-yard arm coming back, along with Lott and Parker Ord ready to receive those passes. And you can't count out Sulphur Springs with Hare and Deuce Hall making plays. 8-4A could show a lot of improvement. Kimball won the district last year, but had a ton of graduation. Wilmer Hutchins and Pinkston could make a play at a district title. Alvarado lost 5,000 total yards, and Carday Collier graduated, so they'll look to running back DeMarcus Belton to lead them this year. Kennedale will continue to ground and pound, that behind Riley Bingham, while Springtown could be a team to look out for in a regional final.
The Campfire is presented by Cricket. Smile, you're on Cricket.
We love easy. 4! Yeah!
Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. The Campfire is brought to you by Kubota, the #1 selling compact tractor in Texas. For details, visit gokubota.com. Kubota, because you can.
For an even deeper look at Class 4A, here's producer Ward Fasold and insider Matt Diggs with the District Breakdown.
All right, welcome to the District Breakdown. I'm here with Professor Diggs. I'm the Wizard. We are talking about all of Class 4A, Division I and Division II. Obviously, we start with Division II. Man, I tell you what, I feel like when we talk 4A, Division I or Division II, our eyes always go out to East Texas. I know this I always consider them as Debo from the movie Friday. Whenever the playoffs come and an East Texas team comes, you're like, uh-oh, Debo's coming. You better hide your jewelry. They're coming through here. And they have Carthage and all that. But do we have a team that can stack up against them in Division II?
Man, when you got that District 7 4A and 8 4A, you got Pleasant Grove, Gilmer, Van, and Carthage, and they all battle each other in the first round. Then you got to deal with the best of the best in the second round. But the team I'm very excited about this year is Sunnyvale. Because remember, Sunnyvale last year, they beat Gilmer. You know, they overcame the state champion, and they just couldn't handle those Van Vandals, Ward. You got when you got those Van Vandals coming in, you just got to hide the wife and kids because they're able to get an upset with each and every week. But I was there at that Caddo Mills game, and I was watching how many players they've got coming back. Kason Maupin, the really talented quarterback, is coming back. They got the big 6'8", 300-pound Cooper Eastman coming back. Oof. Ben Griffin, a very talented wide receiver. If there's a team that can knock off one of those East Texas teams, or 2, maybe 3 again, I think it could be Sunnyvale.
And Brock is going to stay elite. How elite, though? That's what we're going to find out now when you give us your 1 through 5.
Yeah, I think you have to kind of put them #1, especially when they're in Region 1. I think Region 1's a little bit of an easier run. I got Sunnyvale #2. I've got Graham #3. Glen Rose still going to keep them in the top 5 at #4, but right there nipping at their heels. I got Benbrook #5. I want to give a shout out to Farmersville. I had to debate Farmersville and Benbrook, but Benbrook did it last year, so I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. #5. And their coaches watch this stuff. We are on their bulletin board, so I got to make sure we respect Benbrook.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. Now, let's take a look at some game changers in our Players on the Rise, presented by Parker University. Panther Creek athlete Jalen Lott isn't only nice on the gridiron, he may be too nice. The two-way player is dazzling at wide receiver and defensive back. As a receiver, Lott caught 85 passes for over 1,100 yards and 16 touchdowns. Defensively, Jalen can cover the opponent's best receiver and make that player have a tough night. Not only great on the football field, Lott is a champion in track as he excels in the high jump and long jump. Jalen has narrowed his college selection to 10 schools, including Texas, Oregon, and Alabama. Bo Bentley of Salina is one of the area's best dual-threat quarterbacks. Last year, he threw for 3,200 yards and 47 touchdowns for the 4A Division I state champs. On the ground, Bentley ran for 923 yards and 16 more scores. Bo has an electrifying throwing motion and can still rifle in some fastballs while he's on the move. Bentley has offers from LSU, Georgia, and Oklahoma, among others. At the running back position, 4A best watch out for Alvarado's tailback DeMarcus Belton. Check out his junior stat line, 1,800 yards on the ground with an average of 11 yards per carry for the season. And he finished with almost 2,400 total yards and 26 touchdowns. DeMarcus is back for what he hopes to be another big year for the Indians, as he was the district's Offensive Player of the Year. District 7 4A Division I teams know that Panther Creek safety Donovan Webb is not to be messed with. As the co-district defensive MVP, Donovan finished with 120 tackles, 5 picks, 2 forced fumbles, and 9 pass breakups. On special teams, Webb returned 2 punts to the house. Donovan is a ball hawk who always looks for the big play. Webb has offers from Ohio State, Baylor, and Texas, among others.
Switch to Cricket and get nationwide 5G, so you can post that epic ooh. If you switch, you also get a free phone, which you need. Welcome to getting more. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
75 years of made-to-order goodness. That's Whataburger. Goodness 24/7. Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
Our Ward Fasold caught up to Frisco Panther Creek head coach Clint Surratt to talk about his Panthers in our Media Day segment.
All right, it is Media Day. We are joined with Panther Creek head coach Clint Surratt. And coach, man, if you want to talk about last year, first of all, to start about last year, you certainly got your experience in overtime. You guys played so many overtime sessions, 4 in one game, as a matter of fact. You've proven you can win the close ones. You can win the big games. Talk about what you learned from your team just by going through a 10-2 a season where you had so many games that went down to the wire.
Well, I think first is a testament to our kids and our coaches, and just never giving up. We were up, and then lost the lead and was able to win one, and then we were the opposite. We were down, 21 points, and was able to come back and win that really close game at the end. So, man, it was a year like I've never had before. It's been incredible. The journey's been great, and we were able to fortunately come out on top on most of those games, but we lost, obviously, the really close one in the second round of the playoffs versus Alvarado. But I think it builds resilience with our kids, and I think our kids and our coaches have learned a lot along the way playing those really close games.
You guys have some major offensive talent coming back. Obviously, everybody knows about Jalen Lott, but Graylin Fry had such a good year throwing, and you've got Parker Ord. Maybe you're dealing with running back issues, but CJ's still there. What do you need to work on offensively, because you guys really clicked last year due to graduation?
Yeah, we lost a handful of really good players, obviously Trickett and some other really great players on offense, but a big part of it is the offensive line and being able to solidify that unit, and that's been a big focus this offseason. We feel really good about what we've got coming back on our team, and we've got a lot more experience than we've ever had on really both sides of the ball, and so it's a really senior-laden team that we're excited to go to battle with next year.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
I appreciate you. Bye.
You can catch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That'll do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we start our coverage of individual districts, and up first is the always competitive 3 5A Division II. Until then, have a great week, everybody.